Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and a deep valley lived a hard-working farmer named Thomas. Thomas was known throughout the kingdom for two things: his unwavering optimism and his bountiful crops. One day, while surveying his fields, Thomas noticed something peculiar. As he walked, strange markings appeared on his arms and an unusual strength seemed to course through his veins. Puzzled, he decided to visit the wise old hermit who lived atop Whisperwind Mountain. "I seek your wisdom, hermit," Thomas began, narrating the strange occurrences he'd experienced. The hermit listened intently, and when Thomas finished, he replied, "These signs indicate that you have inherited the mark of Hercules, granting you superhuman strength and resilience. With these abilities you are destined to perform 6 labors, and in exchange you shall receive 6 boons of equal power." Thomas pondered this. "What labors must I undertake?" The hermit pointed to the south, where a thick forest had long blocked the path to the crystal lake. "There, brave Thomas, lies your first labor. Clear the forest, and you shall receive your first boon." With newfound resolve, Thomas set about his task. Many came to watch. The villagers jeered. "A mere farmer thinks himself a hero. He'll tire and fall long before he reaches the lake." But Thomas pressed on. Day after day, he chopped trees, hauling the logs to the riverbank. Slowly, the forest thinned. Encouraged by the cheering townsfolk, Thomas completed his first labor. The hermit bestowed upon him the boon of swiftness. Overjoyed, Thomas embraced his transformation and hurried home, eager to share the day's triumph with his wife. But the villagers jeered. "Where is the great hero now? Running home like a scared rabbit." Fueled by their taunts, Thomas resolved to show them the power of his second boon. He raced back to the forest, outrunning his very shadow. With renewed vigor, he toiled, and soon the forest was but a memory. Reaching the crystal lake, Thomas accepted the hermit's second boon, the strength of the earth dragon, and returned home, proving to the doubters the truth of his abilities. Emboldened by his accomplishments, Thomas set out on his third labor to capture the shadow panther, a fearsome beast that plagued the northern fields. For 3 weeks, Thomas tracked the elusive creature. Though weary, he persevered, and on the 21st day, he finally cornered the panther. The beast lunged, but Thomas, with the strength of the earth dragon coursing through him, held firm. Finally, the shadow panther succumbed, and Thomas claimed his third victory. The hermit bestowed upon him the boon of strategy, recognizing Thomas's wisdom and patience. As word of Thomas's deeds spread, many wanted to witness his remaining labors firsthand. So they followed him to the Whispering Sands, where he was to tame the sand serpents, giant serpents that rose from the ground, wreaking havoc on travelers. Using the wisdom granted by his previous boon, Thomas devised a plan. He dug deep holes and filled them with water. Then he waited. When the sand serpents reared up, he flooded their burrows. Unable to escape, they surrendered. With the last of his strength, Thomas captured the final serpent. The hermit was impressed and awarded Thomas with the boon of healing. Now, a local hero, Thomas returned home. But his labors were far from over. 2 more remained. The 6th and final labor was to retrieve the Staff of Ages from the Cloud Citadel, a seemingly impossible task. Yet, with his combined boons of strength, speed, strategy, and healing, Thomas prepared himself and set off. His journey to the Cloud Citadel took him through treacherous terrain and perilous weather. But he pressed on. As he approached the citadel, lightning struck, causing him to stumble. Seemingly out of nowhere, a beautiful woman with flowing white hair appeared. "Who are you?" Thomas asked. "I am the keeper of this mountain," she replied, "and you have stumbled upon my sacred grove. As a test, I shall challenge you. If you defeat me, you may claim the staff, but if I defeat you, you must leave empty-handed." Thomas realized this was his final labor, and with everything he had learned, he fought with all his might. But the keeper was too strong. Just as she was about to deliver the final blow, Thomas cried out, "Wait!" Surprised, the keeper paused. "What is it?" Thomas asked, summoning his last reserves of strength. "You are the keeper of this mountain, yet you are sad. Why?" The keeper hesitated. She had guarded the staff for so long that she had forgotten what it was like to feel joy. Moved by Thomas's kindness, she offered him the staff without a fight. Realizing there was more to life than guarding a staff, she left the mountain to explore the world, free from her duties. Thomas, having successfully completed his 6th labor, claimed the boon of invincibility. But his greatest boon was the friendships he forged along the way. From that day on, Thomas became known not just as the farmer, but as the hero of 6 labors. The moral one doesn't need superpowers to be a hero. With courage, determination, and a helping hand, anyone can overcome great challenges. Sometimes the greatest strength comes not from invincibility, but from the bonds we forge with others. And sometimes the greatest adventures start with a single step outside of one's comfort zone.